Welcome, Musafer. I'm so excited to dive into all things US LLC specific for Germans as well in today's conversation.
Mhm.
All right, so let's just dive right into it. Now, there is a lot of interest in US LLC formations for non Americans and non American residents, of course, and how somebody can benefit from a 0% potentially taxation through that structure. So let's dive
Mhm.
right into it. What does that look like, and how can somebody benefit from
Mhm.
0% taxation?
Yeah, great. Maybe I tell a little bit about myself. Yeah, my name is Muzaffar, and I own this agency called Steuerfrei in 8 Wochen, what means like tax-free in 8 weeks. So I provide this service for German freelancers, solopreneurs, or solo workers, self-employed people. So so what's the story behind that? So I was like working in an tax office or an accountant company before. Like that was a digital company, and we provided services for German freelancers. And it was a holistic service where we provide accounting for them, um, tax declarations, bank accounts, consultation. So everything what belongs to the big field of taxes. Yeah. And I was there since for 2 years approximately, and I was working in the sales department there. And what I realized at that time was that many freelancers, some of them, they have really good income, and they don't care so much about their taxes. You know, they just want to give it away. There's some people take care of, and they don't want to deal with the tax office in Germany, with the tax department. Yeah. And the tax rate in Germany is actually really high. Yeah, so it's around 40%. Like it can be 40 to 50. Yeah, it depends on your income, of course. But like for instance, let's say you are a university graduate, yeah, and you are an IT guy. Yeah, you studied IT or software, and it's your first job, and you already start about like your annual income about 70, 80, something like that. So the IT guys, they earn really good, and in that salary range, you're already in the top tax rate in Germany. Yeah, you pay like 42%, and of course there are possibilities to drop the tax rate. Yeah, so you need to show some expenses for your work, but even that, if you declare the maximum, yeah, if you deduct the maximum, you can maybe minimize it to 35% or something. So it's still a big amount. Yeah. And also the same problems related to the freelancers, of course. Yeah. And I had this idea because I was interested very much into this flag theory, second citizenship, like these topics what you are doing, and I get information about these topics very much, and I'm interested myself. So I decided to build on my own agency and to provide services for Germans who want to save their taxes and build up their foreign companies. Yeah.
I love that. That's
Mm.
awesome. And I love that you saw there was a need there and then
Yeah.
acted on that need. And I think a lot of people don't realize that it is a possibility to legally, all legally, of course, lower your
Yeah.
taxes or pay, 0%, 5%, 10% tax. Yes, it might look like you having to leave your home country or leave the country you're in where taxes are a little bit higher, but you can have an amazing quality of life elsewhere and save potentially, 500,000 plus on taxes, depending on what your business income looks
Mm.
like. So, how would somebody go about setting up this disregarded entity specific
Mm-hmm.
US LLC? And then how would they qualify? How would they know if
Mm-hmm.
it's something that they can set up?
Of course. Yes, I think it's important to emphasize that all of what we are doing is totally legal. So we don't doing something like what is criminal or something. Yeah, we totally stick to the rules, yeah, and to the laws. And it's like, of course, there are some requirements if you want to be tax free. Yeah, yeah. Even if you we cannot even maybe we cannot get you tax free, we can totally minimize your taxes. But the main requirement is, of course, that you are self-employed, you have your own company, you run your own business. And the second requirement is that you are willing to leave the country. Yeah, these are the two main requirements. And other than that, you just go to the state office and just decline your residency, not your residency, but you cancel your home address in Germany. And in parallel, we can set up your company. So the best company for freelancers currently, or the best option, is the US LLC. Yeah. Why is it the US LLC? There's also other options. So first of all, you can build up your company outside of Europe, because like when you are in Europe, you can also like optimize your situation. But when you're outside of Europe, you also solve the VAT problem. Yeah. So you don't need to put any VAT on your invoices. And the other advantage of the US LLC is relatively easy to set up. You don't need to be on site. You don't need to travel to the US. And also the registration costs are quite low, yeah, compared to a Dubai company. Yeah. So that's maybe a quarter of that amount. Yeah. So like currently what I can say, the best on the market, if you want to be tax free or lower your tax massively, is to create a US LLC. And there are, of course, a lot of benefits, because a US company is very known internationally. So everybody in the world is very happy to work with the US LLC, even if your clients don't know you. Yeah, you can go out and promote your company.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm,
I think a lot of
mm,
people are
mhm,
used to seeing US LLCs,
mhm,
so that doesn't come as a shock instead of, like a
mm,
Malaysian company or some other a little bit crazier structure where it's like, is
mm.
this
Yeah,
legit? What's happening here? Needing to get some more information on that. So
yeah.
I'm curious now, I know quite a few countries, there are somewhat stringent rules around what it looks like to leave as a resident. So I'm curious what that looks like in Germany, if certain ties need to be cut before you can go and declare yourself
Hmm.
as a non-resident.
Yeah. Um, of course, like there are these rules where you need to really take care of, is about um, but actually the process is not as difficult as many people think. You just need to cancel your address in Germany. Yeah. And you even don't need to show them another address outside of your country. If you just tell them that you go traveling, yeah, and you have no residency somewhere else. So it's very simple, actually. Um, and you can just go to you can just go travel, and then you can work remotely from everywhere. And yeah, just cut your ties and go outside. And if you ever want to come back to Germany, you can also come to visit. Yeah, there are also, as long as you're not more than 183 days in the country, is no problem. Yeah.
That's nice. That's
Mm,
actually
mm,
quite straightforward compared to quite a few other countries where, even for me, I had to prove
mhm,
that I had almost nothing in my home country. I was a part of no
mhm,
organization. I had no even storage units. Like they want to
yeah,
know everything because they
mhm,
want to try to tie you to that
yes,
country if at all possible. So that's a little bit
mm,
nicer from a
mm.
German perspective that you don't even need even that second address.
You don't need the second address, but also these rules apply to Germany. You cannot have any kind of storage, or you cannot have any kind of storage, or some things what shows a relation to your home country. You need to take care of this, but that's easy to set up. I mean, if you need a home address, you can just maybe show the address of your parents to get your letters. Yeah. Or even like the only thing, like I think the most difficult thing is the tax office in Germany. So even when you are moving out of Germany, you need to you need to give them some name who can take the letters who can like receive the letters in your name. It can be your parents or some siblings or so. Yeah. So you still need to address somebody who can receive the letters in your name. Yeah. But all of
Yeah.
that, like we have a program for that here in my agency. So actually, if people want to get advantage of the program, so we help them to build up everything very properly. So there is a worked out process who works very very straightforward and totally legal. And I'm also there as a consultant, so I give my help to the people and support them to do everything in the right way.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious now, let's say somebody does not know that much about the
Mm-hmm.
LLC structure and
Mm-hmm.
formation, and they were thinking, yeah, I'm going to go set up an LLC
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to move to the US and I'm going to have my life in the US and my business in the US. Could you explain some
Yeah.
problems with that?
Yes. I mean, the benefit of the US LLC for like we call it foreign owned US LLC, or like non-resident aliens. Yeah, so we are non-resident aliens. The benefit is only, you can have the benefit only when you are not living in the US. So you're living outside of the US, and you also gain your income outside of the US. So when you're living in the US, it's a total different story. Yeah. So when you're living inside of the US, you also need to pay sales taxes or franchise taxes. Yeah. It's only a disregarded entity, like when you're not in the US and you gain your capital outside of the US. You get these benefits as a foreigner. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Outside,
a lot of people.
you will be treated like a US person. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah.
exactly. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people don't realize how tax beneficial the US can really be if you are
Mm-hmm.
not American, if you're
Right.
not fully in the system, maybe a little bit once you get an ITIN, but you're not really in their system. And
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people don't really realize that. So let's talk a hot topic that I get a lot of questions about as well is credit cards and bank accounts in general. Actually, let's talk about bank account,
Mm-hmm.
business, personal, what that can look like to start building that up, and then potentially getting into the American credit game.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the bank account. So when your US LLC is properly set up, yeah, and you received your EIN number from the IRS, from the American IRS, it's called Employer Identification Number. With that number, you can go to any bank in the US and open a bank account for your US LLC, for your company. Yeah, you even can do that remotely. So there are a lot of banks right now who offer this remotely, like more of these neo banks or these fintech banks. Yeah, um, and then you have your bank account in USA. Yeah? Also, another advantage of an US account is the American government don't share your information with other governments. So if you have any money to bank to park somewhere, if you need some bank account to park some money, so actually that's the best place. Yeah? So nobody will know about your money over there. It's actually a straightforward process also. Like when your company is set up, you will also get a bank account. Yeah, it should be no problem. Yeah. On the second topic is to get credit. That's a little bit more complicated. So first of all, you need to have a running business for quite some time, and you need to do proper banking with your bank in the US. Yeah. I would say like you need at least you need like 6 months banking with them. So money need to come in, money need to go out. They must see that you are caring about your company very well, and about your finances. And after that, you build up a credit score in the USA. Yeah? And when you have your credit score, you can also apply for a credit card. Yeah, like you can apply at American Express and so on. Maybe you need to get an ITN number. That's like a social security number for that. With the proper address in the US. But all of this you can handle it as well. Yeah, you can handle it by yourself, or there are also agencies who help you with that. And then you can benefit from these great offers from these credit card companies in the US. They are much better than the credit card companies in Europe, for instance. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're
Mm.
better than probably almost almost, if not every single country in the world. Quite honestly, they have some
You're right.
really great point systems.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what was I going to say on that? Yeah, the IT. Oh, I was going to say about the Amex. One of the nice
Mm-hmm.
things about Amex is that they can transfer over your credit if you have Amex, and Amex is in so many different
Mm-hmm.
countries around the globe: Hong Kong, Canada, Mexico. So it's not just as easy as transferring it. There is some additional documentation and address that they want to see, but if you do have that Amex built up in another credit system, then you can just transfer that over to the US, which is also nice as well because some of those Amex cards in the US are really, really interesting,
Mm-hmm.
depending on, your ad spend or what you're spending each
Mm-hmm.
month and what that could look like. It could really build up.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything else that we should touch on regarding LLCs, leaving Germany, and everything that we've touched on today that we've missed out on so far?
Yeah, I would recommend to anybody, like, I mean, we must say this system, like this LLC formation, is very properly. First of all, it's very proper for remote workers. Yeah, so that's a requirement actually. So you need to have an online work where you can do from everywhere. Yeah, because when you have, like, for instance, if you own a shop in Germany, so it's not easy to cut it off and go outside. Even if you cancel your registration in Germany, you still have a building who is inside of the country, and you make income inside of the country. So this income is still be taxed, even you're not here anymore. So that's why it's very important that you have an online job. Like, it's perfect for IT guys who do software, or like social media guys, or like every work that you can do online. Yeah, for this kind of professions, it's a perfect setup. Yeah, so that's what we need to take care. Other than that, I would definitely get some help if you don't know the process, because there are some tricky things where you can make easily some mistakes, and then you have trouble to cancel your registration and so on. Even like when you're moving out of Germany, that must be like very close to your canceling date and so on. There are really some tricky parts of that where the normal people, the average people, cannot know this. So I would definitely get some help to set it up properly, and to cancel your registrations and all your legal stuff in Germany.
Yeah, that's super important to know, and that is very country specific as well. So if you're German,
Mm-hmm.
definitely reach out to Musafer because that is going to look a lot different in Germany than it's going to look in potentially another country.
Right.
But one other thing that is important to note here that we haven't yet is about the potential for fines if you don't have the either proper. So if you have incorrect filing or you don't file at all, there can be fines
Mm-hmm.
up to 25K in the US for the US LLC. Your LLC in some states can become void, so it will basically be inactive if you don't pay that annual fee. So there's
Mm-hmm.
definitely filing requirements that the US, with even with the BOI at the beginning of this year, they've just
Mm-hmm.
increased some more filing requirements. So, I always tell clients, and I'm sure you do as well, that it's important to you can set up an LLC for next to nothing online, but there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes where you need accounting work, you need to properly leave your country
Mm-hmm.
and properly potentially in some cases enter a new country. So there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. I think a lot of people just see like, oh, an LLC, it's $100 and
Mm-hmm.
I'll set it up online, but there's a lot more to that a lot of people don't realize.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody should definitely take care about the fines. They can be really high if you do any mistakes. And other than that, of course, with the BOIR report, yeah, that's another obstacle. Um, so, like, also on the US side, they try to make it a little bit little bit more difficult than last year, I realized. But still, if you have some proper support, I think it should be no problem. Yeah. But like at the end, everything sounds very complicated. Yeah, in the beginning, but with the right support, I think it's easy for everybody. Yeah. You just need to bring some time, yeah, and a little bit patience, like to set it up everything. Yeah. But at the end, everything, once it's settled, then you're free to go. Yeah, you can just run your business and take care of the important stuff. and of course you have your consultants who take care of the legal stuff and the paperwork.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a really great discussion. Thank you for being here. So, where can any Germans who are interested in starting a US LLC, lowering their
Mm-hmm.
taxes, where can they find you?
Yeah, great. They can find me on Instagram, Facebook, or they can just straight go to my website at www.steuerfrei-in 8 Wochen.de, de for Germany. Maybe you can link it in the comment section below also. And people can go and just book a consultation call. The consultation call is for free. And then we can just analyze if the US LLC is proper for them, and we can go from there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. It was really great to dive into the specifics of German-based LLCs a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun. And yeah, I hope to see you soon. So we are working in the same field actually. And yeah, thanks for having me. It was really fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.